Today, we're talking about the 5 types of people that cannot stand the INFJ. As an INFJ, you've experienced this all your life. There are people who do not like you, and there isn't anything you can do about it. Most of the time, we have learned to duck down, to dim our light. We're trying just not to be as obvious in so many cases because we think, okay, if I'm not rocking the boat, I'm not going to draw in people who dislike me. But the truth is that people are going to dislike you. The question is, though, are they really that many? And can we actually categorize what kind of people don't like the INFJ to begin with? Because once you understand why people dislike you, you actually turn it all around. And in the end, you don't even care about it. So today, I can look at all those people that do not like me, and I'm not even aware of them because they're not in my life anymore. They're probably here and there, and they're still thinking those things, but I'm not aware of it. And I actually am drawing in these kind of people less and less. And it's like a complete contrast to when I was completely focused on it. So today we're really going to look into the 5 types of people that cannot stand the INFJ, why they cannot stand the INFJ, and what our lessons are from all of that. So on the one hand, you might say, okay, I as an INFJ have been bullied more often than most people. Yes, probably. But that's exactly the reason why bullies don't like us. Because on the one hand, yes, we're drawing them in. But on the other hand, we've experienced this since early childhood on. So we have been confronted with bullies all our life, just by the mere fact that we are different, that we act in a different way, and particularly as children, we haven't really learned how to tone ourselves down. We're being more of ourselves, and actually through bullies and other kinds of people and circumstances, we make ourselves into this mold. But because of that, we have, understood why bullies are targeting us. We've experienced how it feels to be bullied. And so by the time we're an adult, this actually doesn't affect us so much because we've seen it all, we've done it all, we've worked through it. And nowadays, bullies can't really reach us because every single bully is trying to push some kind of button of yours. They're trying to push you down. They're trying to pull you down to their level. And if you look at adult bullies, you'll see that most of the people they target are people who've probably not experienced bullying growing up. It's actually nowadays that some power dynamics have shifted and, other people become victims of bullies. The INFJ is the typical person the bully cannot stand because the INFJ is just not susceptible to that. So bullies altogether really dislike INFJs, but to such an extent that they don't even want them around because they're just not giving them enough feedback to keep on bullying the INFJ. It's actually even the INFJ who stands up for others who are being bullied so often because we have learned how it feels to be bullied. We have known all of the pain that comes with it, and we've also learned how to deal with it very often. And so we know how to hit back, we know how to make bullies shut up, and that's even one more reason why bullies don't like us. We're just not the kind of person who's not only, looking the other way, but we're also the person who's saying, you're going to stop this or it's not going to feel good for you. The second type of person that dislikes the INFJ is the popularity-driven person because that person is really aware of social hierarchies and that's the one thing they want to do. They're social climbers and that in itself doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? But the point is that these kind of people need to live in a hierarchy. They need to be the ones who say there are people below me, there are people who are above me, I play a certain role within that cluster, and I want to climb that ladder. That's what I'm here to do. So every single person who comes into their life is being checked on where do they fit in? How can I, categorize them? Is this somebody who's going to look up to me or is this somebody that I have to look up to? And then the INFJ comes along who doesn't play those games at all. So this is the typical Sigma part of our personality. We just don't play those games. And although we can respect it as in, I know this is your journey, you do your thing, but the fact that we don't have any chips in the game, the fact that we're so nonchalant about it is exactly the reason why people who are in this game feel so threatened by the INFJ. Because it's not just something of, oh, that person is doing their own thing, good for them, and I'm going to do mine. That's the way an INFJ sees the situation. That's how every single person who's all about I do my thing and I respect your thing, is going to react. But those social climbers who are all about like I need that popularity, that's how the world works, and you have to play by those rules. You're either going to be below me or you're going to be above me. And then the INFJ comes along who, looks at it as like, okay, that's a game you're playing. Well, keep on playing it. It doesn't bother me. That makes people very, very uncomfortable. So this is one of the reasons why INFJs get disliked. And so once you become aware of that this is just how it goes, that it has absolutely nothing to do with you personally, and that you should actually see it as a strength, the fact that you don't have to play by those rules. And the fact that people react like this towards you is just one more indication that, the person who feels this way about you is just bound to that game. And it feels very uncomfortable if they see somebody who's just completely free and, doesn't have any kind of obligation to that system. So, next time you encounter something like this, just take it for what it is and, do your own thing.